Welcome to the Shuffle Curious podcast. I'm your host, Patty Lynch. Have you ever seen an amazing shuffler at a show or festival and wondered, how did they get started? How did they develop their skills? And who are they beyond the dance floor? Well, that's exactly what we're exploring in this show. We'll dive into the personal experiences of the dancers that make up our beloved community. We'll be learning more about who they are and what makes this dance so special to them. So, with that, let's jump into the show and let's get curious together. Hello to the Shuffle Curious community out there. This is going to be a bite-sized episode of the Shuffle Curious podcast. And in this episode, I had the pleasure of speaking with all the FTS leaders that put together ShuffleCon. Among these individuals was Manny, also known as the Feta, Adam, also known as J Styles, and then Susie, also known as Susanita. And they all had a very pivotal role in the organization of ShuffleCon. I was able to grab them at the Flow Complex the day after ShuffleCon was all said and done to be able to speak with them about their experience in hosting this event. So I wanted to know the inspiration behind it, all the preparations and details that went into the event. And then also a recap as to how they felt it went and perhaps the improvements that could have been made or the pats on the back that could have been made, between one another. So it was very cool to hear about. They had a couple call to actions that I really enjoyed too. They wanted to really unify the community with these types of events and encourage other communities to do the same. And to reach out if they, had any, questions or if they needed a blueprint as to how they went about this event. And then also extending an invitation to the international community for ShuffleCons that will happen in the future. So very encouraging in that regard. I loved being a part of ShuffleCon in this capacity, and I love that the organizers were able to kind of give me my own place in ShuffleCon, such as this interview after the fact, and being able to talk to them and kind of document, where their heads were at and where their hearts were at for the organization of the event. So without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to my conversation with all the FTS leaders involved with ShuffleCon. Enjoy. All right, this is Shuffle Curious, and I'm out here with the Flow Complex the night after ShuffleCon with all of the FTS leaders that put on ShuffleCon this year. So if you could just tell us your name, where you're from, and also who you're representing over this weekend and ShuffleCon.
Hello, my name is Manny Rodriguez. I go by the Feta. I am the founder of FTS, and I do reside in Covina, California. And I represent everything here in Cali, the shuffle scene out here.
How's it going? My name is Adam Jordan. Everyone calls me J Styles. From right here in Carson, California, and I'm representing FTS to the fullest and the entire scene of what we got to, handle the dance community.
My name is Susana Morales. People call me Susie or Susanita. I've been shuffling for 14 years, and I represent FTS.
Awesome guys. And so this is the team that put together ShuffleCon. I'd like to know, what was the inspiration behind ShuffleCon? When you guys were first creating this, concept and what you wanted to do, how did you go about that? Was there an evolution, of events that led to this, or, did you guys just sit down and, come up with this concept in a day? Just talk me through that.
You want to get that one, Susie?
Start first. Susie start with ladies first.
So we started planning for ShuffleCon about 9 months ago with the original vision. So a little bit about FTS is that we've been doing tournaments for 4 years now, and it started off in 2020, that was kind of the seed that sprouted everything. And when we did FTS Battlegrounds, we did it it was during COVID time, and so we wanted to give people at home a reason to shuffle and dance, since COVID kind of took that away from us for a little bit. And we created the tournament to incentivize people and inspire people to continue dancing from home. And ShuffleCon was kind of an evolution from FTS Battlegrounds to give shuffling a platform and to allow others to be inspired from shuffling itself and understanding its culture, different styles, and the tournament competition aspect of it. So
Yeah, I'll add to that. And I remember we were having a conversation on the phone. We were like, how can we level up from last year? Like, what can we do? And we're like, you know what? There's Comic-Con, there's all kinds of other conventions. Why can't we have one? We should have one. So we had the idea of putting all this together, and we put pieces together like a puzzle and came out with a great product. I'll be honest, like it was just calling each other for hours talking about what about this? What about that? Maybe this? No, scratch that.
yeah, lots of phone conferences. Yeah.
And just the combination that you guys really chose, you know, the representation of all the crews, the battles within, you know what I mean, the party time afterwards, all the vendors included, you know what I mean, the venue that was conducive to dancing, like all things considered, it was like the perfect combination for shufflers to come through and, you know, and to participate in this event. But with that, you know, comes a lot of preparation and, you know, probably reconnaissance for like what a shuffler would want in a convention. So what were all the preparations that you guys kind of went through to make this event come to fruition?
Absolutely. The biggest challenge was getting that venue, that perfect venue that was gonna accommodate all the shufflers, the attendants coming in, and also making sure that we had a good floor for the shufflers to battle in, and also just making sure that all shufflers were going to be able to find, like, you know, certain places to stay at, like hotels, like, you know, giving them all that information at hand. As far as like we were researching, deep research with Susie and Jay Styles. We try to make sure that we kept those like the right price, and, you know, of how to like charge and everything. You know, we wanted to make it cost effective, you know, for everybody, you know, like and can't really think.
like reasonable for some. Okay,
these guys are always like helping me out, but yeah, I could.
I got you. So check it. So another obstacle, like you said, it's organizing people and coordinating with everyone, because people are coming from across the country just to come to our event, you know. And we want to make sure it was on the right date or the right time where there was nothing else going on. Make sure that everyone had enough time to get here and plan accordingly. Not to mention, like you said, with the pricing and everything, this is an event for shufflers by shufflers. So we know what it's like going to expensive events. We want to try to find a happy medium so everyone had a good time and a safe time too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that with ShuffleCon, it definitely provides a different aspect to shuffling. You know, it's not just the competitive side, but it's also the educational aspect of shuffling and educating the public on its culture as well, and diversifying that. So yeah.
Awesome. And I think you guys also did a great job with that, with the Shuffle Timeline homies, you know, creating that short documentary essentially of what they're doing, and then showcasing that to a room full of shufflers, and almost giving them a call to action to document a lot of the things that they're doing, you know, whether that be the dance. Exactly. And, you know, I think that very much serves the culture and the community as well. And, you know, that's just one of the things that you guys implemented in your preparation to make this a more fruitful event. With that, you know, were there any challenges or hiccups that came about that, you know, might have impeded progress when you guys are planning this event, or, you know, maybe even during the event? Anything that, you know, was you know, problematic that you guys had to work through? Okay.
Unfortunately, some of the tournament contenders had to drop out. And so for whatever reasons, you know, and we had to, like, you know, mitigate that, and it's really hard for Manny to organize the whole chart. Now we got to do it all over again, and the seating to be as fair as possible. We wanted to make sure this is transparent, and unfortunately, some people couldn't come for unforeseen circumstances. But then the day of, someone still didn't come either. Luckily, people are there waiting and hungry to go, so it helped out a little bit. But that's the biggest obstacle, is making sure that everyone that's in the tournament gets there on time.
Got it. Anything else?
Plan for the unexpected. I think that's something that we've come across is sometimes there's hiccups, and you got to think about on the fly, and in order for us to stay on track on progressing through the night, plan for the unexpected.
Awesome.
Also, I will say, just to also be transparent, also with the music selection, I know we had a hiccup with that as well. We will fix that, and we'll have more control of that as well. I know it did affect some of the contestants, and we will definitely reach out to those contestants and try to let them know that we're sorry and for the inconvenience. But definitely, this is something that we're really learning. We're still growing as a community, and we want to keep this professional as well, and we want to make it better for every year that comes.
Awesome. And it's very encouraging to hear you guys say that, or hinting at that another ShuffleCon will be here before we know it, you know what I mean, next year. And, with that, I think it's so valuable what you guys have done this year and then, to the following years. How do you feel that ShuffleCon has benefited the greater Shuffle community and maybe even the international Shuffle community? Because a lot of people have been watching this, not just in the United States, but across seas and things like that. So how do you think this benefited the Shuffle movement in general?
Sorry, it's really hard for me to contain myself, but just unifying the community. I think ShuffleCon is what the community needed at the moment to bring everybody back together, especially after COVID, such a trying time for our society, and for us to come together and come together for dance, which means so much to many of us, all of us, if even. So
I think the coolest part about this is that it raises the level of dance skill and the intention of what everyone's doing, because once you see someone else do something, now you're like, oh, I didn't know that was possible, let me do that and add this and become a cosmopolitan of everything you saw today. So the next time they go dance, they're gonna level up and it's gonna continue growing, as well as the impact on the dance community, because now we could be considered a structured dance. Sometimes people think this is a fad or you do something just on the side. No, this is a culture, it's a lifestyle. This is something we do all the time and live and breathe this dance, because that's how we all love it. And this whole community coming together really showed that it's not just us.
100%. Anything you'd like to add, Manny?
As far as the growth and how we're progressing as a community, we would like to invite more countries to come out here for our event, in the later years, and of course, and then eventually one of the milestones that that we would like to achieve is hoping that we could do it at a international convention level, where we have different countries coming in from overseas, and it will be amazing and exciting to have foreign shufflers out here in the US. And of course, we would like to collaborate with you, and if you would ever like to reach us out, please do at FTS_shufflers. Like I mentioned, my name is Stefeda. You can always reach out to me at on Instagram, and my Instagram is Feidefa. It's an anagram of Defeda. But we're always welcoming, and we would like to hear your thoughts and any feedback that you could provide to us. We're all ears for it.
Amazing. And thank you guys so much for speaking with me tonight, and just getting all the organizers and the hive mind behind ShuffleCon. It's very much an honor speaking with you guys and just seeing how you guys did this.
Man.
Because I think a lot of communities can take a chapter out of your guys' book and maybe perform these kind of events all around the country, you know what I mean? And they can learn from you guys, the things you guys have done right, the things you guys can improve on, because you're very transparent about that as well, and we can build this community together, and you guys are very much leading the pack from the front. So absolutely. I appreciate that. Is there anything else you guys would like to share with the audience before we get back to the party here at the Flow Complex?
I would like to say that I'm very honored to have you here, Patrick, traveling all the way from Colorado to interview us, and also all the others in the event. And it was lovely to have you out here, man. It was exciting to set you up a booth in our event. And I'm honored for everyone who made it out here for ShuffleCon and all the participants. You guys gave it your best. I would like to also give out a shout out to all the judges, Misu, Sierra, and Gilly. Thank you for all your hard work and dedication to the scene. Also, I would like to give out a shout out to Luha and Gara, who created that Shuffle timeline video. That was very amazing. The hard work put into that video, I undescribable. I really loved it. Thank you so much. And also a big shout out to all the shufflers who made it out here. It was amazing. You guys got down. You guys don't understand. Like we've been talking about it like for the past hours. This event just happened like not too many hours ago, and like I said, Jay Styles and Susie, Susanita, really helped me a lot, put me right on the track. You know, we all come from different, we got different skill sets. We you know, Jay Styles is a public speaker. Susie has a lot of organizational skills, clerical. I come from more of an engineering background. I do work as an engineer, by the way. I have a daily job, and you know, and yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Patrick. Thank you for everything, and you know, we'll see what's up till next ShuffleCon.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy your night. Thank you again for an amazing ShuffleCon. And, you know, I'm very much looking forward to the next one. Appreciate you guys. Awesome. Thank you for listening to the Shuffle Curious podcast. I hope you've enjoyed the show so far. We are past the launch, and I'm so appreciative of the support that the show has received. You guys have really stepped up in a huge way, and I'm eternally grateful for that. I know this is a big ask due to the show just starting, and it's very much in its infancy, but any and all support would really be amazing from you guys. So I just wanted to come on and list a couple ways that you guys can help out the podcast moving forward. So first and foremost, subscribing to the YouTube channel would be a huge help. Among, you know, also sharing and following the show on other social media platforms, such as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, but in particular, YouTube will really help increase the visibility of the show, and it can help to reach a wider audience as well. In addition to this, leaving a review on anywhere where podcasts are distributed, such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, can really leave a positive impression on new listeners, and it will help them discover the podcast more readily. Also, engaging with the podcast, so leaving comments, participating in social media discussions, and just anything that would really help build a community around the podcast would be of great assistance. And please feel free, you know, DM me my personal Instagram at Patty Creates, or the show's Instagram at the Shuffle Curious podcast, with the spaces being underscores. I would love to hear any feedback, any ideas, any discourse around the show. It would be an honor to hear you guys out and you know, implement some of the ideas and the feedback that you guys have for me. Also, donating to the podcast directly or purchasing a Shuffle Curious shirt would help out a lot. There's a lot of time, there's a lot of energy, and unfortunately money that goes into the podcast, and it will continue to go into the podcast. So let's just get one thing straight here. It's really been a complete joy doing the show, and no matter how much or how little monetary assistance the show receives, we'll still be performing the mission of bringing the Shuffle community together. But with a little bit of help, I'll be able to travel more for these interviews, buy better equipment, be able to compensate all the amazing people who have made the show a reality and have volunteered their time, things of that nature. So buying a shirt would be much more than buying a shirt. And I don't know if you guys realize, but if I ever saw someone at a festival wearing a Shuffle Curious podcast shirt, you would be my best friend in a huge way. I'd love to see it, and I'd give you a big bear hug. So you can purchase these shirts on the Instagram bio of the show. also the show's website, and then I'll have links in the show notes as well. As for the donation, just please, send me a DM if you feel inclined to donate to the show. I will definitely entertain that, and if you're so inclined, that would be absolutely amazing. I'm not going to create a button for donating to the show or GoFundMe or anything like that. It would just be a conversation between you and I. So, and I thank you for that consideration. But lastly, you guys have supported the show just by listening. Also, listening to this whole outro, that's awesome. You guys rule for doing that. And I just cannot understate my appreciation for all of you guys for being a part of this crazy ride that it's been so far. So without further ado, I wanted to get on. I'll give you guys a couple of ways that you can support. You can run with as many or as little of them as you would like. But I thank you, regardless for your listenership and support. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. Please get out there and dance, stay curious, and I will see you in the next episode, friend.